Hey everyone, so today we're going to be doing episode 3 of She Wore It First. This is the mani that we're going to be doing today. Now this is an account of like a nail place, not like a nail person, but I'm going to go ahead and go into that later. So we are going to be using Betty for our white today, and then we're going to be using Bubbly for our accent nail. And then I'm going to go ahead and also use some gels, but I'm also going to show you guys that a little bit later. So for my liquids today, I don't have any Revel liquids. I'm going to be using my Kimberz Creation liquids. I noticed that when I was trying to find my Revel liquids, I didn't have base, which was weird. I usually always have base. But I am going to be using their tack-free gel top coat. I really like their gel top coat. All right, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and pull out Betty first. So this mini took a lot of like more of white colors and just had one accent nail. So we're going to go ahead and start with our solid color. Now on the picture, it had the middle finger as the accent nail. So we're going to go ahead and just, basically try and follow the exact same picture. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch while I do my thumb and then just explain how I found this account. So I always look for inspiration literally everywhere and just look at all types of accounts from like the UK and South Africa, and I found this one was based in Puerto Rico. So again, you guys, this account is like a nail lounge account where all of their nail pictures go on this. I couldn't find the actual person who actually did this particular manicure to give them credit, but I want to give the nail lounge credit. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up the picture again just so you guys can see what we're going to be doing. And again, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch while I do my thumb, and then I'll pop back in right before we do our other fingers. All right, you guys, so while we're finishing up my thumb, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of info. So the Instagram account for the Coco Lounge, I'm going to go ahead and put it down in the description box below so you guys can go ahead and just check them out, give them a follow. They have really, really cute designs, simple designs. So if you're like a newbie and you still want to like give a little pizzazz to your nails, they have really cute designs for you guys to like get some inspiration from. So like I said, you guys, make sure you go ahead and check them out. So I did the pour over method for my thumb, but I just decided to do the lay down method for the rest of my nails. So before we get started on my other nails, I'm going to go ahead and activate my thumb. I know she's looking a little, like she needs a little bit of loving, but I'm going to go ahead and take care of that when I do my filing and buffing. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my Steady Chaos, and this just helps me to keep my hand basically steady while I do my rest of my nails. I am going to do Betty on, well, my pointer, my ring, and my pinky. Now you guys, while I was doing this mani, I was actually talking to my kids, and I didn't realize that I actually put Betty on my middle finger until after I already dipped it. So I mean, what does Bob Ross say? You don't make any mistakes. No happy trees. You know the saying. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just keep it rolling. We're gonna go ahead and just keep this middle finger with Betty, and this is when I actually realized that you can tell on the video. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and keep rolling with it, and we're just gonna go ahead and make that ring finger the accent finger. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some dip base, only a little bit because I have super shorties. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up to 3/4 up the nail and then down to my free edge. Now when I do my shorties, I feel like I do my nails a bit quicker, but filing and buffing I feel is the same timing for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that to all my 3 fingers. Now with Kimberz liquids, you guys, it is slow drying, so you do have time to like clean up your cuticles and things like that, but you want to go ahead and keep the dip powder on the nail a little bit longer than what you would for like any other dip liquids, and then dust off, because what happens is if you dust off too early, you're going to end up messing up your dusting brush as well as your manicure. So as you can see right here, I'm going to just lightly dusting it, and I'm actually cleaning my cuticle first before I dust my finger. So right now I am actually putting my second layer of dip powder, which is my full layer of dip powder, and I'm going to go ahead and do that to the rest of my nails. Alright, so right here I'm just going to go ahead and clean up. There is an area on my finger, I believe is the middle finger, that I wanted to show you guys that how I like to fix it. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish up with my pinky. And then once we do my pinky, I'm going to go ahead and do the third layer of dip base and dip powder. But again, I wanted to show you guys a little trick when it came to my middle finger. I had like a little gap that was missing with dip powder, and I wanted to show you guys how I fixed that. So I'll pop back in when that happens, okay? Okay, now we made it to the middle finger, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just proceed as usual. I'm going to go ahead and put a full layer of dip base and then lay it down in the cupcake liner. Now, sometimes when I do my mani, my dip base doesn't fill in all the spots that I needed to fill in. So what happens is once I do my cleaning up and like my dusting off, and when I realize I have a gap, I like to take my brush and put a little bit of product on it and actually use the side of the brush. And when I do that, I'm adding only just a teensy bit of product where I need it to be, and I'm going to go ahead and just put it right back in the dip. So I'm going to show you guys right here. What I do is I try to get my brush, and then instead of laying it flat, I turn it sideways and kind of swipe back and forth like this. And then once I get enough product that I need, I just lay it back in the cupcake liner. And then, of course, you do a little bit of cleaning if you have to and dusting off. And that just fills in that little gap that you need to make that perfect, like, you know, cuticle line. And there we go. That's my little trick of filling in that little gap just to get that perfect cuticle line. Okay, now we're ready to do our ring finger, and again we're going to be using Bubbly, which is a very light pink shimmery color. This is actually one of my first colors I actually purchased from Revel. I think Betty was also one of my first ones. Honestly, you guys, if you guys are going to go ahead and purchase from Revel, there's a couple colors that I think that are like super pretty on everybody. Betty is one of them. Bubbly is one of them. Definitely pick up Erica. Honestly, you guys, their shimmers are really, really easy to work with. So if you're just starting out in the DIY dipping at home, I definitely would recommend their shimmers. Especially if you like want a little bit of like, you know, pizzazz on your nails. I know sometimes chunky glitters and other glitters can be intimidating. So always I tell like anybody that's just starting out to start out with the shimmers. And then that'll give you an idea of like how to work with the glitters, because you kind of work with them at the same way. The only thing about with the shimmers then you do different with the glitters is you don't have to pat them down flat, but you still would have to dip it the same. So like for example, right now I'm doing 3/4 of the way up, and then I'm going to do a full layer of the shimmer, and then I'm going to go ahead and clear cap it with clear. So if no matter what brand you're going to end up getting from and you're going to get some shimmers and glitters and stuff, make sure you grab some clear, you guys, because we're going to have to clear cap those glitters. Okay, so for our final step, we're going to go ahead and just clear cap that ring finger. I'm going to go ahead and activate it right after. I am going to go ahead and file and buff off camera, but that's because I want to get started on the nail art. Okay, so here it is all filed and buffed, and we are ready for some nail art. So I'm actually going to use gels for my nail art. I am going to use this one. I don't know how to say it, so I'm not going to try. And then I'm going to use Juicy Mango, and then I'm going to use Electric Red. Now, since we are going to be using gels, we do need a lamp to cure, and I'm going to be using my Triple D one. And I'm going to go ahead and turn her on, but I'm going to go ahead and also set that to the side. Now, I do want to go ahead and pop up the picture one more time just to remind you guys what we're going to be doing. But let me go ahead and get my palette first and show you guys the dotting tool that I'm going to be using. I am going to be using the smaller end of this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of the color on the palette. And you guys, since we're doing only dot art, you don't need a lot. I know this looks like a little bit on the palette, but you probably still don't even need this much. Now, the gels that I'm using is from Nail Reserve. I know the bottle said Nail Addict, but they're now called Nail Reserve. My discount code is SHEI, SHEI, and that'll give you 50% off any 2 bottles if you want to go ahead and check them out. They have tons of colors, you guys, and you know that I absolutely love their colors. They're super, super opaque, and they're just... I've never been disappointed by any of them. So again, you guys, my discount code is SHEI, SHEI, for 50% off 2 bottles or more. Now, you guys, I will be only doing a flash cure, meaning like 15 seconds in my lamp, just to make sure that the gels don't move. And then I'm going to be doing a full cure towards the end. So our last color right now we're doing is Juicy Mango. Now, you guys, the key to when you do dotting and you want to make sure like everything looks symmetrical is to have just a little bit of product on the little dotting tool. If you have too much, just go ahead and clean up the dotting tool and then put it back into the gel. I actually didn't do that right here, and guess what? I messed up my little flower. My dots ended up touching. I really tried to fix it, but you know what? I ended up just wiping it clean with some alcohol and a lint-free wipe and just starting over. If that happens, just go ahead and wipe it off and just, like I said, start over. This is why I flash cure in between. So when I do wipe off the one I don't want, I don't wipe off the entire nail. All right, you guys, so I ended up flash curing my flowers one more time, but we're going to go ahead and add some gel top coat to the other nails. I'm going to go ahead and do a full cure at the end of it, and then we're going to go ahead and finish my ring finger. Now, you guys, you don't have to follow it in this order. I know I ended up putting some gel top coat on my nails before finishing the nail art. But again, you don't have to do this in this order. You can actually finish the ring finger and then just do a gel top coat on all your fingers towards the end. Now, I will be using the Platinum Gel from Triple D in Sparkles. This is like a rose gold kind of color. I know that the other mani, I believe it had like a silver color in the middle of the nails. But I wanted just to do pink because I felt like it matched better with bubbly. So like all the other colors, I'm going to go ahead and just put a dot on my palette. And then I'm going to use that same dotting tool on the same size and just put a dot in the middle of each flower. Of course, I could have stopped right there and then just go ahead and gel top coat it, but I felt like it was still missing a couple more things, like that negative space around it still needed a little bit more. So I actually just decided to add a couple more dots in the negative space just to like fill it in, and then I did a gel top coat. All right, you guys, and this is how we're looking like straight out of the lamp. We're gonna go ahead and add some cuticle oil. Today we're gonna be using Scales of a Mermaid. All right, you guys, and this is our final result. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 3 of She Wore It First. Don't forget to check out that nail account, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.